I have always believed that the quietest mysteries are the most dangerous. People expect crime to announce itself with chaos, with shouting and blood, but the cases that truly haunt you tend to arrive quietly, disguised as ordinary inconveniences. This one began with a letter slipped beneath my office door late one evening, when the city fog had grown so thick it swallowed the street lamps. The envelope bore no stamp, no return address, only my name written in a neat, deliberate hand. Inside, I found a small silver pocket watch, its glass cracked, its hands frozen at exactly 12 minutes past 1, and yet, somehow, it was still ticking. I recognized the watch at once. I had seen it years earlier during an investigation that I had been all too eager to close. It had belonged to a young woman found dead in her sitting room, seated upright in a chair, her expression peaceful, as though she had simply fallen asleep. The coroner had declared it a natural death, and I had agreed, though I had noticed something unsettling at the time. Every clock in her house had stopped at the exact same minute. I had recorded the detail, then dismissed it as coincidence, because coincidences are far more comfortable than unanswered questions. Along with the watch was a note that read, "You never listen when time speaks." I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold. The following morning, I took a carriage to the townhouse near the river where she had died. The house had been unoccupied since her passing, yet the front door opened at my touch, as though it had been waiting for someone to return. Inside, the air smelled of old paper and extinguished candles. I walked through the rooms slowly, noting every detail, and I felt an increasing unease as I realized that every clock I encountered had stopped at the same minute as the watch in my hand. In the sitting room, I stood beside the chair where she had been found, imagining the final moments she might have experienced, when I heard a faint rustle behind me, the sound of fabric shifting. I turned and found a woman standing by the window, dressed in mourning black, her posture calm, her face familiar in a way that unsettled me deeply. She looked exactly as she had on the night she died. She spoke with a composed, almost amused tone, asking if I had finally decided to return. I told her, quite bluntly, that she was dead. She inclined her head, acknowledging the fact, and replied that death was not the same as being finished. She explained that the watch was never meant to measure hours or minutes. It measured hesitation. It was given, she said, to those who delayed decisions until consequences rendered those decisions meaningless. Each owner of the watch had carried it during a moment that demanded courage, truth, or love, and each had chosen to wait instead. Time, she said, had stopped for her not because her heart had failed, but because the moment she needed never came. I asked why she had sent the watch to me. Her gaze was steady, almost sympathetic, as she reminded me that I had done the same. I had noticed the stopped clocks. I had suspected there was more to her death. And yet, I had chosen the easier conclusion, preferring closure over truth. As she spoke, I felt the room grow heavy, as though the house itself were listening. She guided me to a section of the wall behind a bookshelf, where faint marks had been etched into the plaster. Each mark was paired with a date, and there were dozens of them, each representing a person who had owned the watch before her. None, she said quietly, had lived long after surrendering it. The watch did not kill them, it simply refused to move forward until they did. I asked what would happen to me now. She smiled, not unkindly, and told me that the watch had already decided that question. Objects, she said, are merely mirrors of the people who create them. The true danger lies in those who postpone what matters until it is too late. As the morning light began to creep through the curtains, her figure softened, fading gradually like fog lifting from the river. Her final words were neither a threat nor a plea, but a warning. She told me that unfinished moments do not disappear. They wait, patiently, for someone to acknowledge them. When I stepped outside, the townhouse looked abandoned once more, its windows dark, its door firmly locked. The watch in my pocket had stopped ticking. I keep it in a drawer now, wrapped in cloth, and I never open it. but since that day, I have become far more attentive to the quiet moments people choose to ignore. And sometimes, late at night, when the city is silent, I think I hear a faint ticking from somewhere nearby, and I am reminded that time rarely runs out loudly. More often, it simply waits while we decide whether or not to act.